again. I like it. Do it again.
If you're doing it right, big rewards. If you're doing it wrong, then you will be seen as a creepy guy.
Wow, oh my God, I want to touch you right now. I want to be all over you, you know?
How we implement the touch on the ground level when we are going out, approaching girls, how we do it. That is the money advice actually. The type of skills and the confidence Deepak shows in his in-fields, you can get these skills for the first time through his brand new product, Dating Mastery. Join Dating Mastery now. It's no doubtably the best dating product on this planet, period. And if you don't like it in the first month, then you can also cancel it, no issues. Join Dating Mastery now, get laid, get girlfriend and live a happy life. The link is in the description below. So hey guys, hope you're doing good. I'm doing good too. And this is a reaction video I'm making for another dating coach, Alexander Grace. He's talking about how to touch a girl. So let's start. Again, one thing, I will be skipping the part which are not necessary so that videos stay as short and as precise as possible.
Today's video is all about touching women, and this topic can actually be quite controversial because touching women is essential, but it can also be dangerous. And so in this video, I'm going to tell you all the things that, your father never told you about touching women. This isn't a topic that you can afford to not know about. Touching women is absolutely essential. If you
This is really correct because my father didn't told me also how to touch a girl, and touching women is very, very important. So I'm agree with that.
If you do it right, there's going to be heaps of rewards, but if you don't do it or if you do it wrong, there can be massive negative consequences.
He's also right. If you're doing it right, big rewards. If you're doing it wrong, then you will be seen as a creepy guy or miscalibrated touch, or we say escalation. You have to pay prices. You have to pay price in these days.
Let's take this back to the start because some people are unaware of just how essential touch actually is for human beings. We need physical contact with other people in order to survive. And I'm not saying that metaphorically. Babies who are not held, cuddled, or touched will stop growing. And if it goes on long enough, they'll actually die.
So he's talking about babies, so we don't really need to go in that detail.
Is what releases those pleasure chemicals and allows you to release stress and anxiety. You know this feeling when you're a child, when you are really upset, you regulate your emotions by being held, by being touched by an adult. When you were really sad or really angry, sometimes as a child, you didn't need to talk about your emotions. You didn't want to get all intellectual and cognitive and verbal about it. You just needed to be held, cuddled, stroked, and that's what was going to calm you down. Now that is not some random coincidence. Evolution has specifically wired you to be that way. Human beings are social animals.
I mean, this guy, Alexander Grace, is more like a kind of intellectual dating coach, which is fine, but we understand, okay, these things are important. We got it, these things are important, because of these things, the touching is important because we as a baby, all what he's saying. But now the question is the practical implementation. That's the question sometimes we think about, what are the practical advice? How we implement the touch on the ground level when we are going out, approaching girls, how we do it. That is the money advice actually. We have to, let's see what he says.
You love the idea of spending the night, sleeping with a girl, being in bed with her, falling asleep with her in your arms, cuddling, stroking each other. You just want an experience of touch. But in the back of your mind, you think that it's not masculine to be able to ask a woman for that. You think that there's a sort of pressure that you should make it sexual. That's the only kind of touch that it's appropriate for a man to want and to give is sexual touch. It's really sad that we have so simplified the human need for touch to be about sex. And I welcome any movement that starts to destigmatize non-sexual touching. Have you ever heard of this, like cuddling hookers? This is a real thing. You can look this up on YouTube after you're done with the Romanian orphanages. But there are these brothels that exist with women who never sleep with you. They just wear pajamas and you pay for an hour and they just cuddle you. There's even people who organize cuddle parties. I know somebody,
That can be true. Also, when it comes to touch, there are like different type of touch. One is like what we say in game, what we say the like sexual touch, and one is like romantical touch. When it comes to in game, so some guys just focus on like kind of sexual touch, which is not going to work on every situation. So you have to mix sexual touch with romantical touch, you know. And guys, if you're enjoying this video, then share this video to other guys, like this video, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. That is really, really important.
Well, but I'm aware of her, and she organizes these like once a month, and a bunch of people get together in really cuddly, snuggly clothes, and they just, I don't know, I guess they just cuddle. I remember I watched a documentary on this. Cuddle parties, cuddling hookers, these are real things. And in my mind, it's just reinforcing the fact that human beings want to be touched, and it doesn't always need to be sexual. In fact, it shouldn't be. And so knowing that women want to be touched, that they crave, you know, human touch, I would encourage you to start to become comfortable touching women and also being touched. And I'm not talking about strangers or like your female boss at work. I mean, you've got to be discriminatory about when you are touching women. I mean in context appropriate situations, like when you're on a date. Start to think about ways that you can touch your date in ways that aren't sexual. Like make it a rule that every time you cross the street, you just take her by the hand. Or if you get into an argument with her, some silly disagreement, try and settle it with a thumb war, you know, just holding hands like that. Or if you're leading her somewhere, or if you're pointing to something in the distance, while you're doing that, just put your hand on the small of her back. Obviously, don't be a creep, you know, you take your cues from her. You only do this if she's comfortable, but so long as you're socially calibrated and you're touching her in appropriate situations, you'll probably find that it's really, really welcome to her. It actually makes her feel safe in your presence. Now,
I mean, these are like what he's talking about is like a very basic kind of level of touching, which of course you can do, but these are not like, you know, this touch is not guaranteeing you get results to get the girl. So when I say like touch, there is a proper way to touch, proper way to what we say escalate. Of course, like, you know, you play thumb war and all, but you are not going to play thumb war like, you know, with every girl, because I'm an introvert, very different kind of, I have a different kind of personality, you know, so I don't play thumb war. And many of you guys are like, you know, maybe serious introvert, you don't do that thing. Of course, okay, like when you're crossing the street, it's a good move, yeah. When you're showing something you can touch, but these are like just very like limited amount of touch. So when you touch, when we're talking about touching, when we learn the game properly, then you learn how, before you introduce the touching, you have to, like what say, physical escalation in technical gaming skills, physical escalation, we have to see if the girl is open to our, what we say, covert escalation. If she's open to our covert escalation, escalation without touching, the way we see the escalation without touching, the escalation without even verbal. So first we do is like kind of covert escalation. I have explained all these things in very detailed way in dating mastery, step by step. Covert escalation, then you go for verbal escalation. So you see like verbally she's complying, and then we start like physical escalation. Some verbal escalation, physical escalation, can you do it now? Even one thing is important, even if just you are doing these touch, it doesn't mean that girls see you as a potential lover. Girl may think it's a friendly touch. The girl just think it's a friendly touch. She may or may not think about you that, oh, you are hitting on her. So you have to do a special kind of escalation so that she 100% know that, oh, the conversation, he's leading the conversation towards romantic sexual direction. That is important, and that you can learn in dating mastery. So he is giving, but advice in an intellectual way, which is fine, but the practical implementation is not that strong till now. Let's see what he's saying.
Thus far, I've presented this as though there's really only positives. There's only an upside. All women want to be touched, but that's not true. Sometimes a woman does not want to be touched by you. And if you find that you're reaching for her hand and she recoils, it probably means one of three things. Firstly, it could mean that any touch from you is inherently going to be sexual, and that's probably because of your previous actions, or if you've only just started dating her, because of other guys that she's been in relationships with. In that case, what you want to do is break that neurological circuitry and get her to establish an expectation of being touched that isn't automatically going to become sexual. You need to go gently, go very slowly and start to rebuild trust and comfort with her, and show her that you're capable of touching her and stroking her and being physically intimate with her without always trying to undress her as well. Now, if she doesn't want to be touched, it could also mean that you're dealing with a woman who is emotionally fragile, and being touched with kindness and tenderness is just overwhelming to her. It's really sad to say this, but women who grew up in abusive households often don't actually believe that they deserve kindness. That scares them. And so being touched, that's too intimate. It sort of overwhelms them, especially if they've been working really hard to keep all of their emotions of pain buried. What they're worried about is that if you hold them and stroke them and touch them with love and care and kindness, then the floodgates are just going to open and all of their emotions are going to come bursting forth, and they're not going to have any control. Maybe you can even relate to this. Have you ever been working hard to keep an emotion, beneath the surface, but the moment somebody reaches out and strokes you or holds you, it just overwhelms you, that kindness, that love, and it just makes your emotions come forth? If a woman doesn't want to have that emotional experience, then she's not going to want to be touched. This one can take a lot of...
Again, to solve a puzzle, there is no one way. So there are definitely women who are not responding to, for example, you approach one girl and she is responding to your one type of touch. Maybe the other girl is not responding. I will explain, like he talk about the sexual touch, which is correct. Sometimes you have to touch the girl sexually, but when we say romantical touch, then it is more like a sensual touch, more emotional, sensual. And that I have explained also how to do it sensual, we can say playful also. Playful also is a type of playful touching. You can do sensuality, you can bring the touch more emotionality in when you're touching the girl, bringing more emotionality. That I have explained in dating mastery step by step. Like sexual touch is more like a dominant type of touch, when you touch the girl a bit slightly dominantly, then it's more like in a sexual direction it goes. So you have to mix these touches so that which girl respond to which kind of touch, and then if the girl responded to more sexual, then you go more sexual. If the girl is like more kind of different type, maybe she respond good to romantical type of touch, playful type of touch. And one thing is important. For example, some girls will not respond to touch. Some girls will maybe respond to some verbal escalation, or some girls may respond to, they will still talk to you, and they are more interested in they still talk to you, but when you subcommunicate your intent, for example, you do the covert type of escalation. I have explained it in dating mastery. I have gone through different type of it's like insanely big product, step by step, technically explaining like a different type of escalation. I have explained in the product. So when you do the covert escalation, maybe she's responding to that and she's still talking to you. Then it may also happen that when you're outside with that girl, she is not letting you touch, but when you go in the apartment, she's open to that also. Sometimes what may happen, the girls don't like to get, high quality girls don't like to get touched in open environment, but when you are, because of their reputation, because I'm dating very high quality girls and they have the problem, but when you are with them in the apartment, they are open and you can touch them and you can bang them as easy as that. So there is no proper rule. Even if the girl is not letting you touch, it's not, oh, my game is not working. It's not like that. There are different ways to solve the puzzle.
Right now, I want you to think of somebody who you absolutely loathe, some horrible, odious character who lied to you or stole from you or just wronged you in the past. Think of that person, bring them to mind, and now imagine what it would feel like inside your body if that person was to hold you and to stroke you and to place their hands on your head. It's disgusting, isn't it? Remember that touch is really, really intimate. And so if a couple's relationship becomes too dysfunctional and the woman just outright resents the man, it makes sense that she's going to physically withdraw from him and refuse to be touched by him. It's really a primal protection mechanism that is kicking in. She views him as an unsafe person and her body responds. She recoils from his touch. She can't handle the emotional intimacy of being physically close with him. Maybe you can relate to this. Maybe if you dated a woman who was hugely toxic, she's always lying to you, always abusing you, she cheated on you or whatever, do you want to be physically close to her? Do you want that kind of vulnerability? No, you feel like you need to put some distance between you and her for the sake of your own safety. So take note, if your girlfriend will never cuddle with you and doesn't want to touch you, and she's always got an excuse like, oh, she's just not in the mood at the moment, or she's just busy right now. If that keeps going on, consider the possibility that she doesn't feel safe around you. She doesn't trust you, and you need to work on that.
I mean, that can be the reason she's not feeling safe around you. It can be the reason, but can also be the reason that you are losing the edge in the relation. She's seeing other guy, you're not that masculine. It's like a relationship kind of advice. It's you're not that masculine male in the relation. Maybe she started to see some other guy and then she's just looking for a way to get out of the relation. Once the other guy commit and she's saying bye-bye to you, it can also happen that, So if in relation, the girl is stopped letting you touch her and stopping cuddling and intimacy and all the stuff. So I will say it's not about trust here. It's about she don't find you any that masculine. She's finding you unattractive. She's maybe start to see some other guy. Maybe she think that her value is higher than you and then she may get another guy, something like that. That will be the more reason. But before the relation, before sex, if this she's not letting you touch, then the trust can be issue, that she's not trusting you. How you build the trust? There are a lot of technical ways you can build the trust as quick as possible. I've explained it also in Dating Mastery, how you can build connection with the girl in a shorter amount of time. And also when you escalate the girl slowly, smoothly, step by step, then she's trusting you more. You understand? So you escalate and you also read her emotion, then you calibrate and you escalate slowly. So you're not pushing it too much. So imagine I approach a girl and I immediately go heavy escalation. She will not trust me in that situation, but I'm smoothly doing it. Then she will trust me more because she knows, okay, he's going smoothly. She experienced that emotion slowly. So learn how to escalate properly. That is very, very important. Building trust, building connection, that is also very, very important. In the relation, that can be a different thing, because in the relation, if she stopped letting you touch her, then it can happen that you are losing your edge. She is not attracted to you now. That can be the reason.
Have a talk, find out what her issues are. Is there something that she needs to work on? Is there something that you need to work on? Can this be fixed? Or is too much damage being done? There's too much hurt, too much pain, and you both need to split up and find different partners. I really see no virtue in staying in a relationship that's dysfunctional. Just swallow your pride. Yes, the relationship failed. Move on. I mean, at least have a chance with somebody else that's got.
I mean, which is correct. If when you are going in a relationship, then you have to set the frame right from the start. If the frame is set that she is dominant and you are the beta, then it is very tough to reverse the frame in relationship. So you have to be alpha right from the start. You have to stay alpha. If she is the dominant one, it may happen like, you know, after a few months she may lose attraction, you lose your edge, and she's like, you know, not letting you touch, not trusting you, you can say in other words, and like, you know, go look for other men. So in relationship, you have to set the frame right from the start. That is very, very important.
A relationship where
and again, if something like that happens, better to say goodbye and look for another girl. That is much better option.
you're never touching each other. You don't need to be ashamed about having a desire for touch. Intimacy, emotional intimacy, has a physical expression that's only natural. And this isn't just about meeting her needs, it's about meeting your needs as well. Please don't try and convince me that because you're some tough masculine man, you don't have a desire to be touched, or the only kind of, touch that you're interested in is when a woman's touching your junk. Stop it. I don't believe you. Drop all the macho bullshit. Yes, you're a man, but you're also a human, and you are biologically wired to respond to touch. There's no shame in that. So in conclusion, I would encourage everybody listening to this to examine their own relationship and their own comfort level with touch, both touching women and being touched, and then try and move to a greater level of acceptance, integrate it to be a normal part of your human experience. A man who is fully comfortable and confident touching women and being touched is going to be attractive to women.
This is 100% correct. This is very correct. If you are very comfortable in touching girls, then you will be seen as more attractive, guy, because you have no shame in touching girls. And you can do it with guys, for example, in a way that you touch, you hug them, guys, your male friends, in a non-sexual way, touching, put hand on the shoulder and all. You can do that so that you practice that touching with your male friend, like non-sexual way, and then you can do the same thing with girls, and then you can build some flirtation, and you can become like, you can be slightly more sexual with the girls. So be comfortable with the touch, that is definitely like help you, also very important. But escalation touching is when it comes to game learning, when you are gaming girls, like tighter quality girls, higher than your look, then you have to know how to touch the girl in a particular way, in a particular pattern, how to escalate girls smoothly. That is very important, and that you can learn from Dating Mastery. Everything I have given in that product, Dating Mastery. Alexander Grace is more like an intellectual guy who is giving his dating advice, but there is not too much practicality. You will only get results when you get some practical advice, like, I can understand, because he has no in-field experience, he has no ground level experience, he has no experience in teaching guys in the field, exactly helping guys when they're talking to girls. I mean, he's doing fine, 200,000 subscribers, he's doing good, but when it comes to giving advice, effective advice, then advice need to be practical. The advices need to be that type of advice that you can implement technically in your game, and you can see the results also. So that is what is missing in his video, but it's still a good video. I will not bash him, he's a fine guy. It's still a good video, but again, if you want to learn properly how to touch girls, how to build trust, how to build connection, I've explained it everything in my new product, Dating Mastery. It's just $1, 30 days trial. If you don't like it, you can cancel it also, and you should definitely check that product out. It will definitely help you. And so guys, I hope you like this video. I want to make it short and precise. So see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. The type of skills and the confidence Deepak shows in his in-fields, you can get these skills for the first time through his brand new product, Dating Mastery. Join Dating Mastery now. It's no doubtably the best dating product on this planet, period. And if you don't like it in the first month, then you can also cancel it. No issues. Join Dating Mastery now. Get laid, get girlfriend, and live a happy life. The link is in the description below. Also guys, don't forget to watch the playlist Rock Solid Infield on this channel, where I'm doing live flirt, picking up girls in front of camera, showing top level pickup and attraction skills. Also don't forget to watch Student Transformation and Testimonials, where I'm teaching my students, showing full documentaries, student success and their testimonials also.